Good morning, Warren, Greg, and Ajit. My name's Jackie Han. I'm originally from China, but I now live and work in Toronto, Canada. This is actually my 8th Berkshire Hathaway Annual Meeting, and honestly, by now, I've probably spent more time listening to you three than most people spend binge-watching Netflix. As you might expect, growing up in a Chinese family, real estate was always a big deal for us. It's in our culture to see property as one of the safest and smartest ways to build wealth. So the question isn't really, why don't you own a house? It's more like, why do you keep buying stocks instead of investing in more real estate? Well, the truth is, real estate is just a lot tougher than stocks. You spend far more time negotiating deals, managing multiple parties, and sorting out ownership issues, especially when things start to go wrong. Once real estate gets into trouble, you quickly find out you're not just dealing with the equity holders anymore. Sure, sometimes big properties do sell at incredibly low prices, but even then, stocks usually offer better opportunities, and they're way easier to handle. Charlie Munger, on the other hand, really enjoyed real estate. It was something he found mentally stimulating. He did quite a few property deals, especially during the last 5 years of his life. It was his kind of game. But if you had asked Charlie at 21 to pick one world, stocks or real estate, for the rest of his life, he would have gone with stocks instantly. The reason is simple. In America, the stock market just offers more opportunities. With real estate, you're often dealing with a single person or a family who's held onto a property for decades. Maybe they've borrowed too much against it. Maybe population shifts are working against them. Either way, for them, selling is a huge emotional and financial decision. Meanwhile, you can walk right into the New York Stock Exchange and move billions of dollars in trades without anyone even knowing who you are. And you can do it in minutes. Once it's done, it's done. In real estate, signing a deal is just the start. After that, the real grind begins. Endless paperwork, renegotiations, and complications. It's a completely different game, and it takes a certain kind of person to truly enjoy it. Back in 2008, when the financial crisis hit, we actually did a few real estate deals. But honestly, the time they took compared to doing something smart and efficient in the stock market, there was no comparison. In real estate, every single line in a contract means something huge to someone. In stocks, if someone wants to sell 20,000 shares of Berkshire and the price looks right, we can close that deal in seconds, and it always goes through. In the stock market, even people you probably wouldn't want your daughter to marry tend to behave quite professionally. Maybe it's because every call or transaction is recorded, but the completion rate for stock deals, once both sides agree on price, is nearly 100%. In real estate, though, that's when the real work begins. You can shake hands on a deal and still spend years finalizing it. At 94 years old, I can tell you, those kinds of drawn-out negotiations just aren't appealing anymore. We definitely have the means and experience to handle large real estate projects, but the industry's full of traps. Take the 1960s, for instance. There was a developer named Zeckendorf who wanted to revolutionize real estate. Century City in California was his creation and proof of how big dreams in that space can easily turn into trouble. And when things go wrong in real estate, banks are usually slow to admit it. They drag things out, sometimes for years. Look at what happened with Elon Musk's loan when he bought what's now called X, formerly Twitter. It took 3 years just to restructure that deal because neither side was ready to make a move. That's why I much prefer the world of stocks. You can literally pick up the phone, make a few calls, and move hundreds of millions of dollars in a single day. I've gotten used to that kind of efficiency, and I have to say, I've grown quite fond of it. So yes, I've been spoiled by how smooth the stock market can be, and honestly, I plan to stay spoiled.